okay? We're going to come back and talk about number 4 later. Let's look at number 5, okay? So there's 2 ways to think about a question like this, okay? I can find the square root of 25, which would be 5. That's the one I just did, okay? And then I could find the square root of 9. Can you guys find that for me? What's the square root of 9? 3, good. And then I could say, okay, well then that's 15. So notice I can take the square roots separately if I'd like. Okay. Now there's another way to do these types of problems too. Okay, can you guys do 25 times 9 for me? What's 25 times 9? Okay, good. So another way to think about this exact same question is to multiply them together under one root. So notice on this first one again, I took the square roots first, then multiplied, and on this one I multiplied first, and now I'm going to square root. So find the square root of that big number for me. Yeah, it's 15. Okay, so the point of that is to get this rule here. When I'm simplifying square roots, okay, you can square root first or second, whatever is going to make your life easier, okay? So the point of that was just to get this rule right here. Good? Okay. So this rule is one of our 2 ways that we're going to learn today that you can simplify square roots. After I've taught you both ways, I don't care which way you simplify, whatever's going to be easier for you, okay? So let's look at this first one, and we're going to use this rule. So can you guys think of a factor? So that means a number that goes into 8. What's a number that goes into 8? 4, okay. So if I split this into 4, 4 times what? Oh, I just wrote the answer 2. Good. Good reading. Okay. So using this rule we just learned, I can take that and I can split it into the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. What is the square root of 4? 2. What about the square root of 2? Does that simplify to be a nice number? You can try typing it in if you don't know. It does not, right? So then that's the part that just stays. So that's what we're doing today is we're working on factoring out perfect squares so that we can reduce these radicals, okay? Okay, how are we doing? Okay, questions? Okay, so then that's the one thing we're going to do today. Now let's do the same question. So I know I should get the same answer, but I'm going to show you another way to simplify radicals, okay? Did you have a question? Oh, I'm just playing with your necklace. Okay, so again, the other way is by using factor trees, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 8 and I'm going to make a factor tree. So I'm going to look for numbers that go evenly into 8. Okay, so like on the last one, 4 and 2 are good. Can someone raise their hand and remind me what a prime number is? What's a prime number?
Something with no square roots or multiplication.
Yeah, something that has no square roots or multiplication that goes into it. I don't have any factors, okay? So 2 is an example of a prime number. I can't break that one down any smaller. What's another example of a prime number? 3, 7, 11, good, okay? Is 4 a prime number? Okay, so I know I'm good. I know I'm done with my factor tree when all I have left are prime numbers. So on this one, I know I can take the 4 and break it down into 2 and 2. Now, one thing that helps me, because at this point I should only be looking at my prime numbers, is I like to kind of cross off everything else because it helps me visualize it. Okay, so all I have right now are the 3 2s. Now this one is a square root, so I'm looking for the same number times itself twice, right? So I'm looking for pairs of numbers, so I can group those pairs together. So it's like I have 2 times 2 under a square root. So what's going to happen is those two, that pair of 2s is going to, here's how I remember it. My teacher when I was in high school told this to me, and I still use it. Those 2 get married. They become one happy family and move out of their parents' basement, okay? So the radical's like the parents' basement. These 2s are going to become 1, 2 on the outside of the radical. So those 2 got married, became one happy family, and moved out of their parents' basement. So it's out of the radical. And then that leftover one is what stays under. So same answer because it was the same question, just 2 different ways to do it. Okay? How are we doing, okay? Any questions? Because they're going to get a little more complicated. Okay, let's try this first one here. So the first thing I'm going to kind of combine these 2 methods to solve all my radicals today. So the very first thing you always want to do is take your radical and split it between my number and my variable. So that rule came from my conjecture up here. Okay, I can take my radical and split it over multiplication. So first thing you always want to do is split apart your radical to its number and its variable. Good? Okay, can I simplify the square root of 4 right now? Yeah, what's the square root of 4? 2, good. It's okay if you don't know those off the top of your head. Try typing it in your calculator where I showed you where square root button was earlier. Okay. Now, on the x cubed, though, that means x times itself 3 times, right? So that means if I'm going to make a factor tree for it, then I'm going to have 3 x's because the x cubed means I have x times x times x. So do I have any pairs I can group together? Yeah, because I've got 3, so I'm going to pair these 2 up. They get married, become one happy family, move out of their parents' basement. And then my 1x that didn't have a pair is what stays under the radical. That's your 30-year-old brother still living in your parents' basement.
Playing Minecraft?
Yep, playing Minecraft and Fortnite.
I said Roblox.
Oh, robot?
Roblox.
Oh,
You never played Roblox?
I'm not a video game person.
So the answer is 2x and then x in power root.
So 2x square root x.
Can we try to do that?
This one's a little different. But I'm going to have you guys try one of the ones on the next page. So I want you to try, number 11 and 12. And then I'm going to come around and answer, okay? Any questions? So I want you to try 11 and 12 for a ticket.